Hello everyone and welcome to another movie review by Centipede Geek. In this video I'll be talking about a much older film. Came out in the year of 1967. It's available on the horror streaming app known as Shudder, and it's called Viy or Vi. I don't really know if that's how you pronounce that. It's a Russian film. Another title for it is called Spirit of Evil. And like I said, 1967 Russia. Got some actors and actresses in it that I would probably butcher their names if I try, but I'll go ahead and try. You got Leonid Krylov, Natalia Varley, Alexei Graslin, Vadim, and then the list goes on. Like I said, forgive me if I pronounce any of those Russian names wrong. I mean no offense in any way, sort, or fashion. This is one of those films that it's a very odd film. From what I understand, it's based off the same story that the Mario Bava film, the name of Black Sunday. Even though, in my opinion, Black Sunday and V or Vi or however you pronounce that, they're both very different films, but they both come from the same story. If I had to pick a film, which one's better of the two? There will be spoilers ahead. They're so hard to even compare films like this because they're so different. But if I had to pick one between Black Sunday and Vi or V, since they both come from the same story, I would probably go with Black Sunday as far as just in the long run because I feel like Black Sunday is just a better made film. But if I had to go with an ending that feels just maybe better and a little more iconic in a way, I would definitely go with the ending of Vi. Just because, and that's mainly what we're going to talk about in this video. Mainly what this is about, if you haven't seen the film, is about this witch that's sort of haunting this little town in Russia, and there's this priest, and this priest is very strange because he's like snorting cocaine and stuff like that. So he's not the most godly or honorable priest in any sort of fashion, but this witch is haunting this priest. The ending of this film, let's talk about that. It's got a really bizarre ending where it's a very slow burn film, not a very long film. You know, most horror films aren't. They only clock, most horror films, about an hour and a half or so. Some do range on about 2 hours, but most horror films are about an hour and a half or so. And so with the ending of this one's very bizarre in the fact that it's got this really strange, it's got these really neat, in my opinion, kind of neat effects at the end where it's the kind of effects that you wouldn't see today, the kind of practical effects and the kind of creatures and skeletons and all these sort of beings in a way start to crawl out of the walls, and there's this, and then all of a sudden the weirdest one, the god V or Vi, whatever you want to call him, the god statue thing comes to life, and it's just this really bizarre thing that, in my opinion, and maybe even factual, that you're definitely not going to see these sort of practical or in-camera effects today. This is something of a bygone era. You're not going to see that kind of thing today. So it's really neat to jump back into something made in the year of 1967, where if you're a person like me that relishes and loves these old sort of practical effects and these in-camera techniques that you don't see today, at least you don't see today very often, that is. And if you're into that sort of weird thing, then it's really cool seeing that sort of thing. I will say the version that I watched on Shudder, it is a dubbed version, or at least I'm 90% sure it's a dubbed version. So I would recommend that if you can, to watch the original subtitled version that I'm sure you can buy on DVD somewhere, though I haven't done much research to see how rare the film is or something like that. But I'm sure it's out there somewhere, though it's easier to watch on Shudder because you don't have to, go out and buy it and go out of your way. Shudder has a lot of these sort of dubbed titles to where, you end up, a lot of them end up being Italian giallo films that I've watched that are, I don't mind watching them dubbed, but it's always better to watch the original subtitle version so you don't have to worry about the lack of whether or not the mouth is matching the sound and stuff like that, matching the talking sort of thing. But a really neat film overall. I really enjoyed it. I didn't really know what to think of it for the first hour or so. I was like, this film, isn't my cup of tea. But by those last 10, 15 minutes, I really was digging it. And overall, that slow burn definitely had a really cool finale that maybe even if you just don't want to watch the film, watch those last 10, 15 minutes because it's definitely going to be some effects that you've never seen before. A really bizarre ending, you could say. But That's my review of the film on Shudder by the name of Viy or V. Came out in the year of 1967. As always, thanks for watching, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe below.